If you haven't done so already, you can check out my deck profile for week 2 of the Elestrals Championship League up in the card above, down in the description below, where I detail my card choices and strategy going into this match against Wirtz. But that being said though, let's get into that match. Alright, so I roll a 3 on the die roll here, and Wirtz gets a 13. Unlucky number 13 as he said, but Wirtz will be going first. Which I don't love to see it. I'd rather be able to get some counter runes out, but as you can see in my open hand, I don't find anything. But not a terrible hand either, where it starts out with a Nog, being able to draw into 2 cards. Going first would have actually been really nice in this hand if I could draw some counter runes off of Nectar and go Airmare, but that's not the case. Wirtz also has drops, which is very interesting. So dropsing back Pandison and Rummagem, which is also very interesting. So I can tell that Wirtz is definitely up to something with the not the Drataya, the Pandison here, and then plays out Drataya. I'm like Ambrosia here, but nope, just setting up a Drataya. So I'm assuming at this point it's Fruit, and I just figured I just want to control the back row as I do and try to stop him from getting into Lotigan or just answering the Lotigan as needed. So I go 2 for Aeolus, not knowing if he's going to have like Equal Links in this build, but he does have the Pandora's box for Aeolus, but I want to hit over this Drataya to get over it. So instead I go Aeolus here, search out Sorlet, only for 2 spirits again, because again, I don't want to necessarily get punished for Equal Links here when I've already had to use 2 spirits, but actually shields the Sorlet, so I don't love that, but at the same time, it's not the end of the world. Another Nog from Wirtz, just being able to draw more cards. Though I will say in hindsight, probably should have left out the 4 spirits and Aeolus and just assumed that he might not be running Equal Links and going more all in on Fruit. But honestly, it's been a while since I've seen a Fruit deck, so I was not prepared for this in hindsight. So here, just having Nog 2 set 1, goes for the Rummagem here, switch them both to attack just to put on some offense. I don't have any counter runes of my own, which hurts. But at least I have Resting on Your Laurels to kind of keep up here. So I do have to expend the 2. I'm not too far behind in Spirits, just on tempo. Laurels get rid of the Drataya so he can't draw anymore. I Ambrosia here just to gain the 3 Spirits back to kind of keep up with it. And I finally have a counter rune here, so I think I can kind of grab my way back into this as long as he doesn't have Lotigan. And here I can just go Aramare. I'm not too worried. He does have another shield. So this is hurting, but I am whittling down Spirits, which is what I love to see here. So here Wirtz goes into Lotigan, and this is where it hurts because I cannot actually shield this Lotigan. I really would have loved to see more of my other counter runes here because I would have actually been able to stop it. So I have to mill my Exalt here, my Poison Tip Arrow, so I can't even cheese just burn Wirtz. So this is not looking great. I don't have any runes here. I've already used my Resting on Your Laurels, so arguably I should have saved it for the Lotigan. But at the same time, if I left up 2 Elestrals, it only targets the smaller one anyway. But here I just kind of go P-Gust, get to pop his back row to kind of keep him off some stuff. But unfortunately, he does have the Pandison to loop back, so he is able to get the pop on the P-Gust and just keep aggressing. And now I'm down to 3 spirits. I do pop the Pandora's box, and there's not really too much I can do. He just Golden Apple Disc. Yeah, I actually grabbed the Twin as well. Golden Apple Discord again, just pop the back row, which was a shield, but does stall him a turn, but still not great. I just have to throw out another Aramare, and he just keeps kind of setting back row, so even if I can find a way back in, it's not looking good. So I just scoop here, and yeah, once he got that Lotigan out and I didn't have a response, it is what it is. So kind of setting up, I'm deciding to side here, and here I was kind of falling behind, and I was worried about that happening again, just seeing kind of that heavy back row as well. So I'm just debating here what I want to switch in, and ultimately I decide to go Resting on Your Laurels. But as you see here, I go through my deck, like, what am I willing to cut? And I decided to cut Ambrosia just because there might be times where I'm locked and Ambrosia's a dead card because he has a Drataya out on board and I don't want to give him that fuel. So starting off game 2, I'm going first. I have a Sorlet, not too bad. The Twindra in the opening hand again as a 1-of kind of hurts, but Sorlet plus a counter rune isn't bad. Gorgon's Gaze isn't terrible. Goes Drataya here. Aeolus isn't great either, or I should say not isn't great. Aeolus is nice with Island of Aeolia, but it actually goes the Ambrosia to draw 2, and I decided to let him have it. I wanted to kind of save my Gorgon's Gaze maybe to stop a Lotigan, but I'm worried if I should have stopped him here from drawing more cards, especially after the fact being able to see his deck. That probably would have been the better play. So this is just, again, just ill preparedness on my part to face off against Fruit. I go full for Aeolus because I figure I just kind of need it to find Elestrals. I'm lacking on it, so I just go P-Gust to pop stuff, try to keep him off, and maybe kind of be able to hit over the Drataya. He does have the Gorgon's Gaze, so doesn't actually get it, so it's a bit scary here, but yeah, goes straight into Lotigan, and then goes Golden Apple Discord. I just Gorgon's Gaze to stop him, and he grabs the Twindra, so no Twindra shenanigans here, which is fine. I don't expect to really go into it, especially since I don't have Pantera. I didn't set it in. I was debating about it for the game 3, but I was feeling very confident in just kind of staying low to the ground, getting that game, and then surprising him with it. and I feel like in hindsight I got a bit tunnel visioned. I was able to crash the Lotigan. He only has 3 cards. I still have a P-Gust on board, so it's not the worst. Does have the resting on your laurels to pop the P-Gust, so I am now behind on tempo again, but at least I have the Aeolus to search and grab something. So he does Rum Gem, grab the Drattai, which I don't love to see either, as it gets him more draw. So of course I use the Aeolus, grab, and what do I end up grabbing here? I just grab a Sorlet because it's the biggest guy I got. So here I can set PTA, go Sorlet, hit into the Rummagem, and just kind of pass. So I have responses, and I kind of worked a bit on the back pedal here. Spirits are about even. He decides to go Pandison, grab the Ambrosia, and I know he has the Drattai in hand, so I can tell he's just waiting for it. Fowlicane here is interesting, but I choose to expend 1 to draw. Arguably, I should have just put on the pressure here. Just get the 2 spirits out, because I do choose to Gorgon's Gaze the Drattai to stop it. But if I put a bit more pressure on here, might have been a bit better. I just was kind of hesitant to do so in case... what was I thinking then, now that I think about it? I was just a bit hesitant because I didn't want to maybe burn out and not have cards on board. So again, just kind of committing to that more control style. But as you see here, I end up just having to go drops, shuffle those 3 cards back in just to find something that can attack over the Drattai. So I was also scared of an Earthquake. That was the other reason why. But I think at this stage of the game, in hindsight, I should have just gone Fowlicane, should have just put on the pressure, because I still could have attacked over it. He didn't, Words didn't find it. Since I Gorgons, I would have stopped it anyway. So by putting out Fowlicane here, it's a big threat. It's hard for Words to deal with. I can still attack over Elestrals. I had the way to stop the draw, so he would have to have a counter in hand. But because I didn't here, even though I was able to go Hydrake, which 5 attack hit over the Drattai, he does go Lotigan here with Rise from having just enough spirits. I decide to Poison Tip Arrow it, knowing that he can still attack over it. But at that point, as you can see, it didn't really matter here. I'll go to the back of this. So the reason why is I had 2 spirits left in deck, so I used 1 from the Island of Aeolia to hit it, but Lotigan can still attack over Hydrake and burn me for 1 spirit, so I can't even expend to deal with it. My first thought before I realized that, like, oh wait, I have to expend 2, I know I had to spend 2, realizing that I would still be hit for the 1, was, okay, I just leave us with 2 spirits, and that's a stalemate. Though, looking at what's going on here, I would have lost anyway from deck out. So it was kind of just one of those plays where I'm just like, I'm pretty sure I lost, let's just do it just because. So my plan did not go as well as I had hoped. I think this deck was more prepared for tempo stuff that Words could do with stuff like Equal Links and heavy back row. And he had the back row, but unfortunately went for a slower, more control deck that just was better at controlling the board than my deck was. So definitely a lot of plays looking back on it that I should have done. I was a bit too cautious at times, and I think game 1 was... part of it was probably a deck building issue. I didn't see the cards I needed, and just really well built by Words, but he seemed like he found everything he needed. So game 1 was a bit rough. I think less so on the misplays and more so just differences in the deck, but game 2 definitely... I got ahead, and I should have used Fowlicane to stay ahead, but I was too scared of Earthquake, so... but at the same time, lessons I'm taking from this are that I need to probably take more risks. I'm playing it too safe, I feel like, and I've noticed that in some other games I've played as well. So just maybe taking more risks, maybe, like, I probably could have sided into the Pantera package in game 2, so when he got his Lotigan out, I could have instead gone Hydrate Crash, Twindra Crash, get out Pantera, and try to force that a bit more. I was a bit hesitant in the middle of the game because he was throwing stuff in defense, and Hydrake doesn't really do anything then. But at the same time, seeing as he did that game 1, just eventually went attack position Lotigan to put on pressure, I could have used that opportunity to set up something big and try to just set up a really hard board for Words to break and fruit. And seeing what he had, I do think it would have been pretty difficult, and what we discussed after the fact. So first match didn't go as planned. I was disappointed after the fact, but Words and I had a good talk afterwards, and I feel like I learned a lot going into the next games, and I think that will become more apparent as I discuss more deck building philosophies for my future matches. So yeah, I think that's about it for this match. You can look forward to next week, where I'll be facing off against LUCK using Fire. I'll have my deck profile up on Friday and the gameplay going up next Saturday for you, so you can look forward to that.